And welcome back. Now, the ANC's media briefing yesterday focused mainly on Nhlanhla Nene's resignation. And answering to the media, ANC Deputy Secretary General Jessie Duarte said that the party believes that only when found guilty and sentenced by a court of law should government officials step down. Now, Duarte also admitted to having held meetings with Moegsien Williams, who was the editor-in-chief of the new Age and ANN7, in order to negotiate space where the ANC could place its policies and its views in an unmitigated way. And she said that she would make herself available to testify at the Zondo Commission. So just to get a different sense about what that actually means and how it actually fits into the broader political landscape and what's currently happening, we're joined now by Dr Mazwe Majola from a Worldwide Leadership and Development Institute. Thanks for coming through, Dr Majola. First and foremost, let me canvass your views on just leadership and also ethics in the country, both in the public and the private sectors. How would you characterize that right now?
There's a huge dearth, there's a huge paucity, there's a huge lack of ethical leadership in our country. Remember, ethical leadership means doing the right things, even when the right things seems not to be accepted, or even when the right things is difficult or not popular or not easy to do. It takes courage, it takes conviction, it takes strong leaders to do that. At the moment, especially in government, politics, even business, even churches, even right now we are talking about pastors who are raping, who are doing all sorts of things. So we are at lowest of our ethical leadership in our country.
But is there any specific rule of thumb in order to basically direct what companies, what entities should do when someone is, from the point where they are accused of some misdoings, or even to the point, as the ANC says, they will wait for someone to be actually found guilty and sentenced?
Accountability. I mean, that statement from the ANC yesterday was the most surprising and the most what was the most terrible what to call a statement, they said, because it means they are proving that they don't have the will, the capability and the courage to discipline and to take actions. Even the Nhlanhla Nene's issue, I want to argue that actually Nhlanhla Nene made it easy for Ramaphosa to act the way he did, you know, because if Nhlanhla Nene did not resign, I think even today we would still be discussing this issue. Ramaphosa still dilly-dallying, still trying to consult, not taking decisions, because ANC, they seem, because of these factions, they are trying to nurse and camouflage people and situations and groupings, and they are not decisive and they are not taking actions. That was the most terrible statement that ANC made yesterday.
So given these factional fissures that you talk about in the African National Congress, how do they then get one of their structures like the Integrity Committee to actually function optimally?
So put right people, strong people, people who will not take sides, because that's a very important structure. ANC do have systems, they do have structures. So the Integrity Committee is a structure of the ANC that must have tooth, that must bite, that must make decisions, and the president must be strong. The president must stop to react, he must respond, you know, because at the moment it's just reacting, not responding, you know, to issues and to difficult matters. As I'm saying that you must be consistent, you know. What has happened to Nhlanhla? Are they going to wait for other ministers to resign as well? They must take them to account.
Well, interestingly, Jessie Duarte did say yesterday that as the ANC, they haven't yet met with Nhlanhla Nene.
Yes. So it talks to the And I want to use the word integrity of Nhlanhla Nene because obvious people, they will question his integrity, you know. But it talks to his integrity. He didn't wait for the organization to ask him to resign. He, in his own volition, found it necessary to say, you saw what? And number one, he made a mistake. He came out and apologized. He resigned even when was not pushed, but he said, I want out because I realized that I made a mistake. How many leaders will do that? There is no leader under the sun who is immaculate. And is
this for me
perfect.
Is a bone of contention because, and I was saying this to two guests yesterday, the problem here is that our expectations, the bar is so low that when someone does what they should be doing, it's not like he has done something extraordinary. This should be done routinely. But because our leaders simply do not seem to abide by any integrity fiber, we seem to see these as extraordinary acts. Isn't that problematic?
There's no honesty, there is no consistency, there is no ability for individuals, especially leaders, to account and because leadership is very challenging. Leadership it requires strong leaders. People will be brave. People like Nhlanhla Nene, you know, I know that obviously because of his mistake that he has made, he has become this sinner and then this terrible person.
What is the mistake that he's made?
The mistake that when he was asked by a journalist, obviously I don't know what to say because it was an ANC journalist. When he was asked by a journalist, he did not diverge, or he lied. As it were, he lied that he did not meet the Guptas in their own section where he met them casually. Now, when EFF and other structures, when they pressurized, when they come, that is why I say Ramaphosa reacted, you know, because...
But isn't that an important distinction as well? The fact that he did not come out and of his own volition, volunteer this information. He was threatened. And it was under the guise of this threat that he then revealed. So, I just wonder about all of these things. But be that as it may, it's not just something that's peculiar to the African National Congress. You have integrity committees in Parliament, all the other political parties, and as you say, business across the board, across the religious sector. Why is it so hard for people to hold others to account within their organizations?
I think the society, because remember that leadership starts at the top and then it cascades and people. Leadership is a modeling exercise. When you see someone senior than you does and speaks and acts in a correct way, you will follow. That's how it happens, Whether it's at home, you see your parents, they do something, good children will follow. When at a top level, you see leaders doing good things, and then people who are underneath them, they will follow that. So we need to find leaders at top in all spheres of life, whether business or religious or politics, government, who will model so that other people can say or that they can follow that and can do as those people are doing.
Well, Dr. Majola, we have to leave it there, unfortunately, but thanks so much. Pleasure speaking to you. That was Dr. Mazwe Majola from the Worldwide Leadership and Development Institute. And that brings us up to news time.